Oh my goodness. Jeez. What's going on, guys? Oh my gosh, let me catch my breath. It is a windy day. Holy crap. What's going on, guys? Motonosity here, back for my second ride on my 2020 Yamaha R1. I picked this thing up last week, revealed it to you guys, did my first ride. Oh man, we're going to talk about why I bought this bike. I've got a 2020 BMW S1000RR sitting at home in my garage, and I know a lot of you guys are wondering why I would buy this bike. Why on earth do I need 2-liter bikes? Well, my first reaction would be, why not? Oh man, that was something. I think there's going to be a lot of that on this bike, just straight up laughing all the time. If you want to make sure you get notified of all the videos coming out on this bike, on my BMW, and all my other bikes and all my builds, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, go ahead and hit that like button. Start this thing off right. Okay, I think I got my breath back. I freaking love that sound, man. It's so nice. So in order to answer the question of why I got the 2020 Yamaha R1, we got to take a step back a little bit, back to when they announced this thing. At the time, I was owning a 2009 R1. Love that bike. Huge part of the channel. It was the third bike that I owned. I owned a 2005 SV650S and then a 2009 R6, and then after I had my R6 stolen, I bought the 2009 R1, and I absolutely love that thing. It was near and dear to my heart. But after 4.5–5 years, I decided to sell the R1, move on to something new. But back when they revealed the 2015 R1, I decided that I was gonna wait until they did the mid-cycle refresh on the R1 to buy another R1 again, because I love my 2009, and I didn't get rid of it because I didn't like having a liter bike. For me personally, I think I like having a liter bike over a 600 as this, you know, my day-to-day sport bike. So I always knew that I would get back on a liter bike, but I wasn't going to buy one right away when the 2015 came out. I had only had my 2009 for a couple years at that point, and I just wasn't really looking to buy a brand new sport bike. This bike is so light, y'all. Compared to my 2009, this thing is just phenomenal. Every single thing about it has improved, and the areas that bug me the most about my 2009 have all been resolved, but we'll get there in a second. So I had my 2009. I didn't want to buy the 2015 redesign when it first came out, so I made the decision that I would buy the new R1 when they did the mid-cycle refresh, because I bought my 2009 was the first one of the generation. They did the refresh in 2012, and they made a few different improvements, the biggest one being the whole electronics package, but they also redesigned the front nose of the bike. And I actually did that mod on my 2009 so I could have the refresh design. But I wanted to wait on the new bike until they did the refresh, because I figured they'd make a lot of improvements and they'd do a little bit of a redesign. So I told you guys that. It wasn't a secret. I've said over the past, 5 years that I would get the new R1 when they did the refresh. This bike is so rowdy. I love it. I was waiting, the 2009 was the first year, and then they refreshed it 3 years later for 2012. So I was expecting in 2018, maybe 2019, for them to do the refresh. 2018 came and went. 2019 came and went. I mean, we found out in 2019 that the 2020 model year would have the refresh. But my dream bike has always been the top-of-the-line BMW S1000RR. I remember when I first saw the first HP4 at the BMW Museum in Germany, and I fell in love with that bike. And I said that I would own one of those someday. So when BMW announced the first complete redesign of the S1000RR for 2020, which they released in 2019, I was tired of waiting on the new R1, and I was in a position where I could buy that new bike. And so I said, you know what? I've been waiting. The R1 hasn't come out. I have a chance to own the first model year of a bike that's, the first redesign in 10 years of the S1000. So I did, and sure enough, 6 months later, Yamaha announced their refresh of the R1, but that's okay. I absolutely adore my S1000RR. So of course that adds to the question of why did I get the 2020 R1? Well, when the refresh was announced, I said, you know, I probably won't get one right now, but maybe in a couple years I'll pick up a used one, maybe a wrecked one, and rebuild it. I still wanted to get the new generation R1 because, you know, the R1 meant a lot to me. I sold mine in 2018, I think. I loved it, and I knew I would be back on an R1 someday. So that was my plan. You know, keep the S1000 for a couple years, maybe add to it with a wrecked R1, maybe buy one to replace the S1000 if I, you know, wanted to move on and try something. But 2020 R1 came out. You know, they were sitting on showroom floors. I think they started arriving in September. I could be wrong, but I know reviews started coming out in September for the bike. And I fully expected a lot of people to pick them up, and there'd be a ton of motorcycle YouTubers to pick one up, at least a few. And I was just craving this bike, and I didn't see anyone buying it. It got to the point where I said, you know what, I can still get this bike and still keep the S1000. I can be one of the first to have the bike and start doing a lot of mods for it. There was, you know, several of the Raven edition, and that just is the black, the stealth dark colorway that Yamaha releases on their bikes, and that's one that I wanted. I had the blue on the R6, and I really love that blue, but I didn't want to do blue again, so I said, you know what, screw it, I'm probably gonna get one of these eventually. I have the chance, you know, really not a lot of people have them right now, and I can buy it. You know, I can keep it for a while. I can mod it out. If I want to keep it with the S1000, I can do so. If I want to eventually sell the S1000, I can do that. If I really absolutely love the R1 more than the S1000, I can sell the S1000 in the future. But right now, I'm keeping both bikes. I'm not getting rid of them. I don't have any near-term plans to get rid of them. And if you want to see the build series on that bike, if you want to see all the vlogs on that bike, I'll link both of those playlists in the description so you guys can see all of that. But yeah, that bike isn't done. We're going to continue building on the S1000. Still got to do the paint job. Still got a few different other mods that I want to do. Still, we're going to get it actually dyno tuned so we can get it perfectly smooth on the power band. And then we're going to do a ton of stuff to this. I think it's going to be pretty sick. I'm really, really excited. I can't believe that I'm in a position to own two premier super sports at the same time. It's incredible. I'm so thankful to be able to do this as my job and for you guys to be along with me. So, by the way, if you guys buy merch from Motonosity.com, link is in the description, post it on Instagram, you know, add it to your story so that I can reshare it to my story and show off what you guys are buying. By the way, someone asked, and I was kind of trying to figure it out in the first ride on the bike. I don't know if there's a fuel gauge on here. I don't think there is. There's F trip that says 4.6 miles. That is how long I've gone since my fuel light came on, and usually on these bikes it's about 20-25 miles, 20 to 30 depending on how you're riding. Usually it's a pretty consistent 25 for me, so I got 20 miles before I need gas, but I'm gonna get it now so I don't have to stop. First fill up. All right, let's do this. So yeah, a little bit about the S1000 just to insert here. I really cannot express how satisfied I am. It met all the expectations that I had and exceeded them. It is an incredible machine. And being on this, you know, just a couple rides so far, I know that the S1000 is faster. You can feel it. But the R1 just means so much to me. Honestly, I do not know. If I couldn't have both bikes, like, I don't know which one I would keep. Like, if I had both of them and then I was only going to keep one, because there's a lot that I love about both of them. And I'll talk about that in a review. But this bike, I wasn't purchasing it because I thought that it could perform better than the S1000. I bought it just because I loved the bike. You know, when the 2017 R6 came out, which I bought, I said that I thought the R6 did the look of the new R1 better than the new R1 did. And now in 2020, with the refresh of the R1, they made the nose look a lot like the new R6. I think that now the R1 has the better looking front nose than the R6 does. But that was one of the reasons I jumped at the new R6. I just absolutely loved how it looked, and it's the same feeling on this bike. I think this is a really, really nice looking bike. One of the reasons that I knew that I was going to get one in the new R1, having owned the 2009, there's a few things that bugged me about my 09 R1 and why I ended up getting rid of it. I was kind of exhausted with daily riding a super sport that weighed that much. It didn't weigh that much more than this one, but it felt so much heavier, and it felt so much larger. Like the width of the bike was just a substantial amount more than this one. They slimmed this down so much, which a lot of manufacturers have done. All of the super sports that are getting released now are much narrower and much lighter than the super sports of 10 years ago. It is insane that they can make leader bikes with the power that they have in a chassis that feels similar to a 600, and that's what I love so much about them. So I'm a huge fan of what the new leader bikes are doing. Another reason that I bought the new R1 was just all the electronics that they added to the R1 since I own mine. Like I said, in 2012 they did the refresh on my old generation, and that's when they added a lot of the electronics that they have now. My 2009 had like no electronics. They've improved a lot over the years, but a lot of that was added in 2012. Now, not only that, but they have improved this motor so much. It's still the crossplane, but the improvements that they've made, you know, making things even more well balanced than they were before, lighter, slimmer. The feel of this, it's crazy. Like, it feels like my old crossplane R1, but just way better. I feel that Yamaha makes really nice bikes. There's a reason that a lot of Yamaha's lines of motorcycles are the most popular in their, you know, niche. No one is matching the range and naked bikes that Yamaha has. The R6 is easily the most popular, or at least most sold 600cc sport bike out there, and the R1 is notorious, and I love supporting that. I just wish that Yamaha would come out with a mini bike. I love the Grom. I'll probably buy my own. By the way, if you didn't know, I'm giving away a Grom over on my Patreon. Every dollar supported gets you an entry to win. We were doing a 300cc swap. The 300 motor is already in. We're just waiting on parts right now, and then that build will continue. But I'm probably going to buy my own Grom, you know, in the next year or two, just because I think they're so much fun. But I wish Yamaha would also enter that market. But that's kind of, you know, sidetracking on the subject. I love the changes that Yamaha made with the 2020 model. Everything that I was looking for them to do with a refresh on top of what they did in 2015 or for 2015, they did. It may not be the absolute fastest, most powerful, you know, precisely machined leader bike on the market. I personally don't think it is, but for what you get at the price you get it, I don't think it can be beat. I can't tell you if I would love this bike as much as I do if I hadn't already owned an R1. Just because for me it has a lot of the enjoyment and satisfaction that I get from it is for nostalgic reasons. But I can tell you that if you had no experience with R1s and you bought this bike, you would enjoy it. So there's no cops. Can't wait to get an exhaust on here. That engine sounds good, but man, once that thing gets paired with an exhaust, this thing is going to sound bonkers. 3, 2, 1, go. That is a cop though. No, it's not. Never mind. Thought it was a Ford Explorer with a cop's bike on the back. So I gotta thank you guys. I am the one that makes the videos, but all of you guys that subscribe and really enjoy the content that I put out, you know, it means the world to me. The support you guys give, you know, buying merch, supporting on Patreon, just watching my videos, even if you're not spending anything on me, but just watching my videos and making this a reality. I'm thankful every single day for you guys. So we're gonna be doing a lot to this bike. You know, I'll come out with a build plan video for you guys so you have a general idea of the route that I'm going and what I'm thinking with this bike. Mods will start happening real quick on this, then we'll be able to throw down with the S1000 and really see what the difference is. We'll get a comparison video in there, we'll get some races in there. It'll be a fun time. By the way, this is not the end of this video. We still got some runs to do on the old Mexican tollway. If you're not subbed already, make sure you do so you guys get notified of all these videos coming out soon. And if you enjoyed the video, smack that like button for me. All right, let's finish this video off right. Alright, let's try out these downshifts a little bit more. Not bad, not bad. When it's higher RPM, it does it a lot nicer, but I still think the S1000 does the downshifts better than this one does. Again, full comparison video to come for you guys. I really appreciate the support, you guys. You have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Keep life lived, and I will see you guys in the next video.